Welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. Joining us today is Mike, the founder of Mike's Vets. In the aftermath of the Marina Pinnacle fire, his clinic stepped up to care for pets affected, offering emergency treatment, shelter, and support. Mike, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Great to be here.
We're so honored to have you and hear about your story, because when we covered it before, we were so amazed to see so many people step up for the people and, of course, the pets that were affected by this fire. So following the news of the incident, what made you jump into action?
It's knee-jerk reaction. So born and raised here, and that's one of the things I love about Dubai, where people just come together when something goes wrong, and you see it brings out the best in us. So, I saw people helping out with the folk that were, that had to leave their apartments, and for me, I was like, first thought in my head, because I've got so many animals at home, I was like, what's happening with the pets? And we just put the post on in record time, and we're like, just bring them over. So our clinic was closed because we're not a 24/7 operation. And we just got some of our staff to go back, paid them some overtime, and said, just let the animals come in.
That's
And
amazing.
you talked about the community. Did you see anyone else coming to you, like helping you with the support that you created?
No, absolutely. So we had people reach out to us because we offer this pro bono. So there was no
nice.
charge, in terms of checking the animals. We had a few that went into our ICU unit for critical care as well from smoke inhalation. And we had random people reach out saying that they just wanted to contribute, and we refused them. We said, and our motto always with this, when we, when it's cases like this, pay it forward.
Oh, that's very nice.
Yep.
Can you tell us how the operation went about? So, of course, you put the word out there that Mike's Vet is willing to help animals affected by the fire, this one specifically. So can you tell us how the rescue teams dropped them off? How were they reaching your facility?
Yeah, absolutely. So we had a lot of volunteers that stepped up because, and this takes me to a point where people need to prepare better, and that was the lesson learned from this, where make sure you have an emergency kit ready, in terms of carriers, how you're going to trap your animals. We had a bird that was rescued as well. That was brought to our clinic, a bird by the name of Mango. Really cute little fella. But we're just not prepared for things like this because, if you get the alarm sounding, your animals get scared as well. Keep a carrier ready, in your storage or something or the other, so you can just quickly put them in and then exit your apartment. But long and short of it, transportation was an issue. So we work with a large group of rescuers in the UAE who are always prepared with things like this, like trapping animals, with the gloves and everything when they get anxious. And they just drove down there and then brought the animals to us. But the bit that I found really interesting was it was random people that just went there and helped. I met this lovely family just yesterday, actually, where mom took her daughter and they went and they helped pick up 3 animals and brought her to the clinic.
Nice.
Because they saw the post and their response was, I just couldn't sit by and do nothing. So, it's nice when you see things like that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's just the feeling of community in Dubai.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So you talked to us about one of the pet that went into the ICU. Any other common things that you saw, what happened? Mainly smoke inhalation, obviously.
Yeah.
But anyone else was like critically injured?
No,
is in recovery?
a couple of them we just had to do some oxygen therapy because again, just they were breathing a bit heavy, but knock on wood, all of them were okay. So we never had any critical cases, so to speak. The ICU is it's a temperature controlled environment where you can control everything that's happening with the animal, but we didn't have to put any of them on IV or medication or anything as such. It was just ensuring that they were healthy and then went back to their owners. We still got about, I think, 5 at the clinic, and that's only because the owners don't have a place at the moment, so they're crashing with friends or family. So the moment they're ready, the animals are good to go.
Nice.
So how many animals did you get? Are they mostly cats, mostly dogs?
It was 16 cats, 1 dog, 1 bird.
Oh.
One bird.
Yeah.
Mango.
That
mango.
was the old one out. But
Yeah, so 16 cats, like all breeds, like any special cats?
a combination.
I'm a cat lover.
A combination of all breeds. But if you're a cat lover, you need to come visit because I've got 136 at home. So.
Oh, whoa.
136 cats. Nice. I will come. I will come with my son. And what was the most heartwarming moment? Like community obviously came together. We love those moments. What was the most heartwarming moment? Anything else that you saw? Like the women that you talked about, drop the cats.
Yep.
A lot of things. Any other?
I think for me, and it's not just with this instance, right? It's fascinating to me that sometimes the people you least expect it from do the most. And that's a common theme that I see where, people who are stretched to the max with how much they do for the community, animals and everything else, still pick up the phone, give you a call and tell you, how can I help? And that just fascinates me every single time, because I'm a strong believer that you can't fill from an empty cup. And, sometimes I tell them, I'm like, look, take a step back, let someone else hold the reins on this specific case. But it's just, they give much more than most people that I know. And that's always something that I hold very dear to my heart. But
that's amazing.
Yeah.
You were talking about being prepared because obviously you never know when something like this can happen. So let's say I have a cat and someone else has a dog. Is there a specific way that I should be prepared?
I think the key thing is, depending on the dog, is have everything that you need in an easy, accessible place. So this generally is near the entrance of your house.
Yeah.
Now with dogs, it's fairly easier because if they got their collar on, all you need is a lead. But with cats, it gets tricky because they get anxious when they hear loud sounds. When you panic, they sense it as well. So I would also suggest maybe having a pair of animal gloves.
Yeah.
Because if your cat gets anxious, just so you don't have battle scars, just dump it into the cage as quickly as possible and exit. And that was the lesson learned for me with this one specifically, because a lot of people were trying to get their animals but just couldn't find their cat, for example. So take a step back, calm down, have everything ready, make sure you have a carrier that's large enough, and then don't leave them behind.
Yes,
It's
of course.
because there's still one cat that's missing, I believe, as of yesterday. But apart from that, all the other animals are accounted for. So we had a WhatsApp group,
Yes,
which
I've
was
seen
quite
that.
extensive. But all the other animals are accounted for, healthy, safe, which is great.
I think it can be a good series for your Instagram page. I was just looking at it. I have good followership. I think you can do a whole series, like 2-3 videos, reels about it.
Yep.
Yeah, emergency measures, right? I'm seeing a lot of good content here.
Because we need to know how to take care of our pets in case of emergencies like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
We're trying to spread the word out there to make sure that this doesn't happen again.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and it's all about awareness, right? And with animals specifically, there's a lot of misinformation out there, unfortunately, and that's what we try to do with our page as well, which is just bust the myths, so to speak, because just like with us, there's a lot of like fad diets and there's so many different things, and for me it's always take a step back and let's focus on what's best for them. And with emergencies as well, I think most of us plan really well for ourselves, like a fire or whatever else it might be, but when it comes down to your animals, there is a cost associated with it. And you need to plan for these emergencies. And it's not just a fire in your apartment, touch wood, that doesn't happen. But if you need to travel at the 11th hour, how are you arranging for or making provisions for your pet? Because it's a lifetime commitment for that animal. I mean, my oldest cat is 22 years old.
22.
Yeah, I never thought he'd go that long, but he's still going, so it's still healthy.
Good.
But he was the first one we rescued. Yeah, he's a typical street cat, But 22 years is a long commitment. There are costs associated with that, and you just need to plan accordingly. They're not toys.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not presents.
This
it's
is
a
one
family
of the
member.
things I've seen on Lovin Dubai. We see a lot of rescue stories and all that. A lot of people leave their like healthy dogs and cats out, and someone is rescuing them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Someone should whenever you take a pet, take responsibility as well.
100%.
Yeah, it's very difficult to take care of them, right?
100%.
So just be committed and be responsible with it. What's one lesson? One big lesson, like the umbrella lesson.
Oh yeah, preparation.
Yeah.
I think that's the ultimate lesson here, because even for us, it was an aha moment for me as well, where we live in such a safe city where everything is so quick, and there's a problem, there's a solution just around the corner, and with things like these, it's just unforeseen.
Yeah.
And I think we learned a bit of that lesson last year with the rains.
Oh, yes.
But that is still easier to deal with, I feel, versus something like this, because here you've got a matter of seconds to make the right decisions. And that is the lesson learned from this. So keep the carrier, have an emergency kit ready, have a backup plan, so where are you going to take that animal? But again, it's in the carrier, it's safe, it's with you. That's step one, obviously. And make provisions. It's, have a fund that's set aside for emergencies like this, because even if you do all of that preparation and let's say you have nowhere to take the animal, what are you going to do? You have to check it into boarding or something or the other. Have a friend that is your backup plan or something. So just plan as much as you possibly can. And it's like insurance, right? We all pay for it. Hopefully you never need to use it, but
It's better to have it, right?
absolutely.
Better safe than sorry, 100%.
Yeah.
And overall message for any other like vet clinics or anyone. You did it. Would you urge everyone to be like this open?
I wish more people
Yeah.
would truly understand the gift of giving.
Yeah.
You get far more from it than what you give out. And, if parking everything aside, I think that, moments like this bring out the best in us and just give more than you take. It's this quote I read years ago, right, where there are two kinds of people in the world, givers and takers.
Yeah.
The givers sleep better. The
Yeah.
takers eat better, and you need to choose a side. I'm not for one of those, drawing a line in the sand, but just give more than you take.
Yeah.
Even with the animals that we have on the streets in Dubai, we have so many people that do so much. If everyone just took on one case, the problem's gone.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's just and it's pennies on the dollar if you think
Yeah.
from a cost perspective. So, yeah, just pay it forward, give. It's best way to live life by far.
Where
Thank you
can
so much,
people
Mike.
find you, and where can people get more updates on what's happening right now?
So you can follow our clinic page, which is Mike's Vet
Yeah.
DXB, and then both me and my wife have our own Instagram handles. So
Nice.
I'm the Cat Guy DXB, and she's the Cat Girl DXB. So
Amazing.
Yeah.
Guys,
Perfect.
follow them because you don't want to miss it. And be prepared. That's the moral of the story
Absolutely.
today.
Thank
you,
you.
Mike, for joining us today.
Thank
really
you.
appreciate
Pleasure.
it. Thank you, Majid.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All
Bye.
right, we'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place, hopefully earlier.